be lifted, yet our president continues to hold permits, and not just permits for ultra deep water drilling. He's holding permits on every operation in the Gulf of Mexico. You're not hearing it in the press. It's not being widely distributed. Mr. Obama's agenda. America continues to listen to the green energy lie each day. The green police are using a tragic spill to forward cap and trade legislation. That's what this is about. Anyone that doesn't understand that is not into the game. At no time in American history have workers been so disregarded. Could this disregard have something to do with the fact that the shrimping, the seafood industry, the oil workers are non-union employees?
That's exactly what it is.
President Obama is out to destroy fossil fuels. Mr. Obama does not hide with his desire to kill fossil fuels. Slowing the drilling of the relief wells. How many of you understand what takes place on a drilling rig each day? We spend 24 hours, 7 days a week moving forward, drilling ahead. I know individuals that are on the DD3 today that are spending 6 to 10 hours out of every workday writing permits and procedures that have to have government approval to go forward. All the time slowing the kill of the well to stop the spill. Is Mr. Obama concerned about the spill? No. Get out of the way. Are there any oil workers here today? Look around, folks. This is something for each of us to know. If you want to understand apathy, these are men just like me that have been placed out of work since May 27th, and they are not standing in outrage. We have to embrace them. We have to find them. We have to support their efforts. They are the ones that are being destroyed. It's not a driller. It's the 11 men that died on that rig. 5 of them I knew personally. I'd worked on the Horizon 2 years ago. I know the 2 men that were directly in charge of the operation. Jimmy Harrell is a good man. Don Vadrine with BP is a good man. Something went terribly awry, and it had to happen inside of a building in Houston, Texas. Beyond Petroleum, BP. Think of those words, Beyond Petroleum. What more could BP have done to move this nation beyond petroleum than to destroy our coastlines? That's right. That's right. Do you think the global cons that run this industry care about the workers that are going to be out of work? No. Take the time to look at the average wage of the worker around the globe, since we are now deeply rooted in a global economy. Are you everyone, how many times a day do we hear that we now have a global economy? Well, where does the American worker fit into that global economy? Where does an offshore oil worker fit into that global economy? Unemployed. Well, that's what they hope to do, sir. But the fact is that we rank above everyone in the world as far as workers. That's because we have and were promised a free economic system, a free market. What this Obama administration is hoping to do by its moratorium, by its actions to close refineries in Texas, 125 refineries will be directly impacted by the EPA's move of just 2 days ago. You shut down 125 refineries, you shut down any number of refineries, and American citizens will be directly impacted. But one thing for sure, Mr. Obama will nationalize his energy companies. $2.1 billion to Brazil for ultra deep water drilling, advancement in Brazil. Yet you put a moratorium, force a 6-month moratorium that you know will destroy the industry in the Gulf of Mexico. Contractors, operators are moving rigs today out of the Gulf of Mexico to take them to a safe haven in a third world country. They're going to go to Brazil. They're going to go to Trinidad. They'll go to Southeast Asia. The next thing that I might have an opportunity to have a day's work will probably be in Singapore. That's my opportunity. I work, I'm an American worker, I'm an American oil worker. I'm proud of what I do, I'm not ashamed of it. Every one of us that got here today drove in an automobile that 11 men's blood fueled to get us here. Mr. Obama may not understand it, but I do. I have seen men mashed and mangled. I've seen them killed to produce the oil and gas that goes in every vehicle we drive up and down this road. Every time we see a plane, it's our blood, it's our sweat. And we're good men and women. We're not politicians. We don't hope to be politicians. What we hope to do is be an upstanding American citizen and provide a nation energy independence. For how long has this nation heard that promise? Energy independence. Jimmy Carter. Yeah, that worked out real well for us. And we have such a great energy policy, huh? Put a moratorium on deepwater drilling, shut down the Gulf of Mexico, and send the rigs overseas. Quite an effective policy. What a great leader we have, huh? Marxist. Does anyone understand Marxism? Yes. If you don't, look it up and look up Mr. Obama and look at his actions since he's been president. He is an amazing creature, but he is a Marxist. Amen. Make no mistake about it. Amen. Does anyone doubt that? No. What are we going to do? We have to recognize the great importance of the November 2010 election. Yeah, you're right. I share a view with all of you in the Tea Party that this is our last opportunity to put a Christian-based conservative Congress in place that will overturn Mr. Obama's legislation. There you go. There you go. Kendra is going to come up next, and I got to watch her piece on YouTube, and I want to share something with what I just spoke with her a while ago. We're each Americans, we're all workers, we're people that have bought into an American dream. Many of you have fought in service for this country. We respect each other, we respect our actions to come out here and stand at a great capital, and we have great state leaders. I'm proud of our state leadership that we have in Washington. Thank God for them, guys. Thank God for Mr. Vitter. But Kendra, what I shared with her is that each one of us that ever gets an opportunity to get in front of a microphone and to speak to anyone, always remember one thing. Forget the politics of it all. Speak from your heart, speak the truth, and let people know what is being done to your community. She has a tragic story that's being carried out in her community. The use of the dispersants that BP is spraying on this spill are toxic. I've written articles to the EPA and begged them, have you done surveys? Have you done studies? What will happen when you mix this toxic mix with toxic crude oil and it evaporates into our clouds? What happens to our atmosphere? When radiational heating occurs and it's sucked up into the sky, what happens to our atmosphere? What happens to our children? And folks, if you don't think it's toxic, pull out the MSDS sheets on NALCO's website. Mr. George Soros is making a ton of money. He's loving it. I really think that that's why we're not doing anything other than spraying dispersants, is because every gallon George Soros is making a dollar bill on someone in Venice, someone along this Gulf Coast life. He's stealing, he's destroying an entire way of life. The dispersants are more toxic to the sea than the oil. Now, isn't that a great idea? Let's disperse it with stuff that we know, which we guarantee will kill marine life. It says it in their MSDS sheets, yet we're continuing to spray it. Fight on.